asked my Instagram followers to send me their brand designs and logo designs that they might want me to critique. So that's what we're gonna do today. This isn't gonna be a roast or anything. I just wanna give some constructive criticism and then also just some praise for good work. And also, I don't know the brief for this project or like what this brand really is, what the personality and strategy behind it is. So I'm really just gonna go off of what I would change visually. So our first one is this lovely Hawaiian brand. I think this is honestly adorable. Great job overall on this. The S, this just doesn't really flow to me. Like it doesn't really look like it's anything. Like I could see it being a wave or something, and I see like in the primary logo up here how it kind of ties in with that, but on its own for the logo mark, I don't really think that that works to me, and like the lines just need to be smoothed out a little bit, so that's an easy fix. And for the icons, those are super cute. I think again the lines maybe could be a little cleaner, and I know they're intentionally rough, but some of them I think could just be cleaned up a little bit, like some sharp corners and stuff. With the type up here, this is kind of nitpicky, but for me, with this little space, I really want that to be connected and not separate because it's so close that it just looks like an awkward little space there. And it would also flow well with the other letters being connected as well. Again, with just the line work, it does look a little bit rough. I think that's the main thing with most of this is just some rough lines. Could be a little smoother, a little cleaner. And again, being a little nitpicky, but moving this subtext down a little bit. I want this space even down here. So I would just move it down a little bit. Overall, I think the colors are good and they do work together. So good job overall on this brand. I really don't have a ton of critique for you. Okay, this one is a very low quality image, so I apologize. I hate to break it to you, but I don't know if you've heard of Patagonia, but shockingly similar. So I think you unintentionally might have taken a little too much inspiration from this guy, the fish and everything. So that's the main thing, is that it kind of is very much the Patagonia logo. But setting that aside, I do love the colors and the overall direction. So I'm assuming this is like the primary logo. Don't know for sure, but with this, the lettering I would say is too far apart. With the type here, the subtext that's like in the mountains, I don't know if like this is the logo, that whole blue part, or if that's just a heading that they made of some kind. So I'm a little thrown off, I'm not sure. That type is just kind of lost and looks kind of weird in the middle of those mountains. Definitely want to move that up to be more paired with the main text. Overall, good job, especially the colors. I like the colors, but if this is actually being used, just be mindful that it's pretty much Patagonia's logo. So, okay, contestant number 3. I am gonna be straight up with you. This needs a lot of work. I like the movement, the flow, and okay, so from just the design perspective, if you just get rid of this circle on the outside, that's already gonna be doing a lot for you. It just doesn't really need to be there. So just getting rid of that, like it's a lot more to the point, because also that circle was like a different color than the blue in the main logo. So yeah, get rid of that, and then it looks just a little bit dated. So I think there could just be a refresh if you choose a simpler font that isn't a marker like that. Just let the personality come out in that mark instead of having that styling in the type. I think it kind of feels like too much when there's all that, and also the gradient in the letters, that feels very outdated. Gradients just often feel kind of old school. Yeah, so those are just some comments for that. I think if you just kind of take some things away, it'll be better. Let's move on to our next one. A lot of people sent links to like their portfolio or to projects, and when people sent their entire portfolio, I'm just gonna choose a project to look at because they didn't choose one specifically. So I'm gonna choose this Daily Dough, which I like the vibes overall, like the colors. I love color palettes and like looking at those. I would say maybe the yellow could be a little more subtle, like because looking at the photography and stuff, it's very natural, very organic, and the yellow is a little more bright and stuff. Also, I just had a little bit of just a side note for this person. I had a little hard time navigating your portfolio. It's just a little bit like, whoa, like a lot of things moving and I can't really like click into projects and stuff. But back to this specific project, the daily dough. The choice of the bread for the type, super cute. I love that. It does look like the Paley Po a little bit. So if you could just get rid of the little foot here on the bottom, that is, oh my gosh, keeps moving. That would help that a lot and show that it is not a P. And also, personally, I would put the up here in all caps. See, again, this just keeps moving. Please maybe choose a different format for your portfolio. I can't really stay on one image. Yeah, and then the type, I think, is a little too spaced out. Maybe bring it together a little bit. And there's just some letters that look a little bit awkward, like this A. If you could bring that part in a little bit, then that would be much better. But yeah, I'm just gonna make a few comments so I can keep moving through the rest of these projects. All right, so this is from Josie. This project, super cute. Love those colors. Again, lots of great colors. I like the use of this very Western typeface, combining a very electric, modern style with also a Western kind of look. You did that pretty well. I like that. When the blue and the yellow are like right on top of each other, I say that's a little bit jarring. So maybe altering one of the colors to work better together is what I would do. So I'm also a little confused on, there's just like a lot of variations here with the logo. I don't know which one is the primary logo. I think there's like 5 variations here. So I just think tone that down a little bit, have less variations because there's just too much. And also the R in this typeface looks like a K to me, to be honest. I kept reading it as a K. And then also there's these 2 like handwritten kind of typefaces. I would just go with one of them because they're just too similar to both be used. It takes away from that distinctiveness because there's like a lot of fonts going on here. I think just simplifying is the main thing with this one, but great direction overall. I do like it. Okay, now we're on to spring drink. Super cute, very modern, very colorful. I don't think I'm gonna have a ton of like critique on this because I think it's really cute. Looks very professional. I mean, just something that caught my eye is that this red on the purple, I wouldn't pair those together. They don't have the right amount of contrast and you can't really read that, but that's something really small. And then I kind of think that there might be issues with the lettering being kind of hard to read for some people. I can read it, but I think just when you're making a brand identity, you want to make sure that it's legible, and some people might misread some of these. Like I can see the P being read as like an E. So you just want to be careful about that and maybe alter some letters to make it a little more clear. I honestly don't have much to say. Super cute design, cute direction. All right, our next one is Jado. Like this one. Great job again. First thing I'm gonna say is I think there's a little too many colors being used. I like to keep it fairly limited with the color palette, but I'm just seeing so many colors in use here that I think it kind of takes away from the identity a little bit. I think there could just be some things that can be cleaned up as far as the details of like the shine and stuff that could be cleaned up or even taken away. I think we want to be, you know, kind of reductive sometimes with logo design, and this feels a little bit, maybe a little bit too much. And also it looks like the outside outline is not really aligned quite right with the lettering. So just cleaning that up would be easy. And I don't think it's really a problem with this, but there could be some legibility issues just because it is kind of heavily stylized and they're overlapping and stuff. So you want to be careful about that. The shine on the letters, like some of them just don't really match up with the curve. So if you just get better at doing that, that'll make it look a little more realistic. Overall, great job. Thank you for sending it in. Now let's get on to this cute one. So this is someone's personal branding. I love the pink, and I think the flow emblem is very cute. Yeah, the use of the A and the C, that's really creative. I like that. Something, again, being nitpicky with like just the layout, I would move the end of this pink arch over to the right a little bit, just because it's kind of crowding that D. So just moving that out and like making it right on top of that A. And then with the arch down here, I would make it aligned with the side of the Z if possible. So making sure that that lines up. But yeah, I think this is really cute. Great job. So here's another one where they sent me their whole portfolio. So I just chose one of the projects to take a look at. And I think this is really cool. As I looked through it, I was like, oh, it's a cool idea. Because it's like a G with like a I in the negative space, but it really reminded me of the Logitech logo. So that's kind of might be an issue. It's not exactly the same, but definitely reminded me of that. It also kind of reminds me of the Google logo. It just looks like the G could be like the same typeface. So that's the main thing. I can't tell. So with this final logo, I guess there's a line through it here, and I don't think that should really be there. I would take away that line, and then I think that would look a lot better. I think it just kind of gets in the way of those letters. Overall, really cool though. I like it. Okay, I think this might be our last one. But again, this is a portfolio someone sent me, so I just chose one of the projects. This is a personal brand. Looking at the breakdown, it's supposed to be a C plus an H plus progress. I can definitely see that. I couldn't really see the H, so if you're trying to make the H a little more visible and like clear, then I would change that. The only thing I would say is that both of the blues are a little bit jarring, so pairing those together might be a challenge. I would maybe just tone down the mint green, and then they could kind of pair together a little more calmly. So those were all of the projects that I got sent in, and those were all really great. I feel like I didn't have a ton to say because everyone did a really great job. I hope that you guys found this helpful for the little bit of critique I was able to provide. But thanks again for everyone who sent something in. If you want to watch the part 1 I did of this, I feel like I did a little bit more critiquing in that video, so I'm gonna link it here. But that's it for today, so I'll see you guys next time.